Egypt has started long time ago. In 2016, the AU adopted a space strategy, and Egypt was ready to declare to host the organization for space regional space organization. This organization is mainly to promote cooperation between space policies between African Union member states. So in January 2023, this dream has taken place in Egypt, and an agreement between Egypt and the African Union was done to launch the African Space Agency. So this initiative by Egyptian government is very important because it links the Egyptian Space Agency with the African Space Agency, and also it will provide cooperation between the two agencies, and of course it will help in coordinating the different strategies between Egypt and other African countries in the region.
Great. The CEO of the Egyptian Space Agency said a project involving the installation of a remote sensing camera on the International Space Station, ISS. How do you weigh this step?
Of course, as I said, Egypt was very forthcoming, and it allocated $10 million to establish this agency. And this fund is made for first of all for the experimental satellite, which you talked about, and it is called NextSat-1, and it is mainly for facilitating communication, for retrieval of data, for monitoring climate change, for electro-optical images, for capturing high-detailed images with precision. So all these functions are very important for Egypt and for other African countries who are going to help or to cooperate with Egypt. Mm-hmm. So it is a big step in the technological know-how and the innovation of the space program.
Mm-hmm. Well, a space satellite is intended also to study climate change. Now, how would you describe the importance of climate studies for Africa?
Well, this was agreed upon between the Egypt and as I said, the Egyptian Space Agency and the African Development Satellite in collaboration with. They had a collaboration project between Egypt, Kenya, Uganda, and Nigeria, and this is very important because, as you said, the help that is going to be the research work that will be done and the innovation program that will be done, the know-how that will be done between these countries will help the climate. Will help the research and the know-how in the field of climate change. And of course, Africa is suffering from deterioration of climate and from drought and loss of space in agricultural space. So this satellite will help in achieving technological high technological achievements, high technological results, and know-how, and it will help in many economic returns in the future planning, whether it is in the management of climate change or the management of space or the management of communication.
Well, how can the system act as a disaster monitoring tool as announced by the contributors to the project?
So as you mentioned, that it will have a very important advanced satellite technology. So this cannot be done alone. It has to lean on different research programs that have taken place before. So this satellite is using China's small orbital launch vehicle, and it will be a milestone not only for the Egyptian National Space Program, but it also will help the satellite technology in Africa. So it is a big facility, and also the Germans are offering also their know-how in this regard.
Mm-hmm. Great. Well, how would you list African priorities with regards to this project?
Well, the world is changing, and Africa has to follow the advancement of technology and know-how all over the world. So the satellites are now dominating the technology of the whole world. So Africa has to follow up with all the innovation and the know-how that is happening in the world, and also of course, the artificial intelligence and the space programs are very important now, and Africa has been covering all these innovations by these agencies that are working towards following up with what is happening in the world, and the experimental programs and the satellite programs that are happening in the world.
Mm-hmm. Great. How would you describe Egypt's preparedness to provide training and technical support to scientific teams from Africa involved in the African Development Satellite Project?
Well, Egypt has many engineers and experts in this field, and of course it is important to use the expertise of Egyptian engineers and train Africa who are in need of this kind of this know-how, because Egypt also needs this satellite for agriculture, for the water resources, because predicting natural disasters and monitors encroachments and also the violation of the narcotic cultivation. All these things could be could have. The Egyptian experts could do training for Egyptians and for Africans in order to be ready to apply those new technology and to integrate the tests that are done by satellites and the sensing, the remote sensing satellites that are happening all over the world. We should, Egypt and African countries should participate in these goals and to localize the satellites and to manufacture the technology that is accommodating to African space programs.
Mm-hmm. Well, great. Thank you so much, Ambassador Sou'ad Shalaby, former assistant to the Foreign Minister. Many thanks for your insight. And now we move on to our special report. South Sudan's Vice President expressed concern over ongoing peace talks in neighboring Kenya. More details.
South Sudan's Vice President said Thursday that peace talks in neighboring Kenya have failed to acknowledge the country's peace agreement established in 2018, alleging a new draft agreement is aimed at replacing the original peace deal. Riek Machar, in a protest letter to the talks' mediators, said the draft established alternative institutions to replace or run in parallel with those established by the previous peace agreement. He added that the current peace talks should complement and not obliterate the original deal. The former rebel leader signed an agreement with President Salva Kiir in 2018 that ended a 5-year civil war that killed about 400